Hey everybody, welcome. Here they are. Yeah, we'll do the usual 5-minute wait before we actually start. But any questions you can put into the chat. Yeah, we just started the 5-minute mark again, like as usual. Hey Steve, good evening to you. Sure, a lot of people are happy in Ontario with golf courses slated to open this weekend. Hey Lefty, good to see you again. Hey James, good to see you again as well. Hey, on time is 5 minutes past 7 on this channel. So we'll let everyone funnel in. Thank you, Lefty. Appreciate it. Gonna be just only gonna get better and better. Anticipated to be doing this in the new place, Lefty, but that will wait till next week. Just a few things to clean up, a few things to get ready for that. Hey, Rubens. Oh, interesting, James. So you guys had less than 4 people in Australia. Was that the rule that you guys had? We don't have any limitations on the group sizes from what I can tell so far. Hey, Dave. Good to see you. Interesting, James. 2 people max per round. Wow. So was the course packed with that, or was it hard to get a time, James? Yeah, give it 2.5 minutes and then we can begin. Any questions, leave it in the comments as usual, and we will start from the top. Oh, I see. Interesting, James. I bet. Yeah, two people per slot. That's not a lot of people that could play golf that day at that course. Oh, it's two per round as well in Cali, eh? Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, at least we're all still healthy. That's all that matters. Good health. Hey, Sebastian, good to see you again. I will get to that when we start. Yeah, so we'll keep that as the first question. It looks like we'll wait around the 5-minute mark before I start answering questions. Yeah, 78's not bad at all, Lefty. Not bad at all. Well, unknown phone calls coming this way. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how opening weekend goes. Supposed to rain quite a bit this weekend. Maybe I think sunny on Saturday, but rain for the rest of the long weekend. So we'll see what happens over here. What did you do, Lefty? Oh, the range will be open at least at the club I'm at. The range will be open. I think they sent out an email saying you can't show up more than 30 to 40 minutes prior to your tee time, and then they're limiting the spots on the range. So we can warm up. Yeah, Sebastian. I won't be playing at Cedar Brae this weekend, most likely, but I'll most likely get on and play later in the week. I'm just gonna do it. So it works out really well since I just got the keys to my new place. So I'll do a lot of cleanup, do a lot of unpacking to get ready for the upgrade in the content I'm hoping. So I can wait till late next week before I start playing golf against Sebastian. All right, 5:16. Let's get started. So yeah, any questions? Put it in the chat now. I'm gonna start from the top as usual, and then hopefully it will flow nicely again, like yesterday. I'm sorry, like last week, where the questions were flowing. So first question is where is it? Where is it? Sebastian. Any advice for those of us in Toronto who haven't made full swings in a while but are back on the course this weekend? The only advice will be have fun. That's all we can really hope for. Just have fun, enjoy yourself. Like Lefty said, make sure you stretch, do some exercises, even if it's on the first tee or beside your car in the parking lot. Just make sure your limbs are loose, you're not too tight, and just try to have as much fun as you can. Nothing really replicates hitting golf balls, but if you've been able to do some swings, even mirror work or on camera without hitting balls, that would go a long way, Sebastian. But you still have a few days before the course starts. Course opens on Saturday, so if you want to make some half swings in the backyard or in your driveway, wherever it may be, just to loosen up, get the motion going, that could be a good start. Rubens, what clubs do you use on tour bag? I don't use a tour bag. I just use a normal stand bag. Tour bags are too big and too heavy for me, so I just use a light stand bag from Mizuno. It's actually a really nice stand bag, really light. So now I have a set full of Mizunos. Still using the ST190 from last year, the CLK Hybrid, the 919 Tours, and the 60 pitching wedge, and then a 919 Forged in the 5, and then a 919 Hot Metal Pro in the 4. Just a little bit more forgiveness in the longer clubs. So excited to play the new stuff whenever I can get them. So hopefully the production and stuff is going well again, but in no particular rush. There's still bigger priorities at play right now in this world than getting golf clubs. So I can wait longer if I need to. I can play this set for the entire year if I have to, but no tour bag for me, just a stand bag. James, question. How to prevent the head to go too much on the left when in the transition? This is my swing fault when trying to swing hard and press my arm against my chest. I think you're a right-handed golfer, if I remember correctly, James. If your head is going left to your left foot, to your left side, that probably means you're starting to lean too much in transition. As a righty myself, so like you get to the top and you start leaning in transition, which we are not really generally a fan of if you overdo it. So what I would guess at first is really load up the right, really feel like you move off the ball. So you can see my head is like just beside this doorknob. Don't feel the need to keep your head steady in the backswing. Let things move off the ball. So even if you shift left, you're not shifting overly left. Moving off the ball will help you get more room with that and make things more athletic. So yeah, I would try that, James. Who are you buddies with, Sebastian, at Cedar Brae? Maybe I know them, maybe I don't, but just curious. But yeah, Cedar Brae is a good place to be. No guest play early on. I think they were saying no guest play. So we will see how the rest of the year shapes up, but I would be surprised if it's no guest play for the entire year. Some pretty big problems if that's the case. That probably means that COVID is still kicking around late summer, which would be quite the bad news for all of us. So it would definitely be way bigger problems than playing golf if COVID was still kicking around in a big extent later in the summer. Peter, been watching your videos for a while and improving last 2 rounds, divots pointing left as a right-handed golfer. It's not necessarily an issue. If you're hitting your shots while divot pointing left is not necessarily a big issue. I don't really care too much about where the divot points as long as your ball flight is good. So I would need more information to help you with what you need help with, based on what's the ball doing, how's the ball traveling in the air, all that other stuff. Divot is a very small part of the puzzle. I don't really look at it too much at all. DJ, always been an out-to-in golfer. Through watching your videos and a lot of others, I've moved my path too far into out now. How do you move it back to the left? Tough to say without seeing your swing. Great accomplishment being an out-to-in golfer and always being an out-to-in golfer and moving inside out. A lot of golfers would kill to be able to fix that over-the-top out-to-in. So kudos to you for fixing it. If you are too far into out, and you want to just neutralize it, just do whatever you did to get it inside out, but do less of it. So exaggerate less and just try to find the middle ground. But without seeing your swing, it's kind of hard to say what's causing the excessive into out. But I would guess that just doing less of what you did to get it to go into out. I see what you mean, Rubens. Yeah. So yeah, in my bag I have last year's ST190 driver from Mizuno. Since I'm a Mizuno staff player, I play my entire bag as Mizuno, but I do have a tailor-made putter because they weren't making putters yet. So I ST190 driver, CLK hybrid, 919 tour 5 to 6 to pitch and wedge, and then 919 forge 5-iron, a little bit more forgiveness, and then 919 hot metal pro in the 4-iron, a little bit more forgiveness as well. I usually don't have to hit 4-irons into par threes, so it's more for like shorter par fours at hot metal pros. I can just kind of hit it a little bit harder and just try to go a little bit further. But or like off the fairway on like short par fives or whatnot, it's typically a good option as well. Jeremy Davis, any tips for reading the greens? I was a great putter, but now struggle to see the break correctly. I thought it was my sunglasses. I just can't see it anymore. I would try reading the greens with your feet. So standing over your ball, seeing which foot is lower, typically would tell you what side the break is going to go towards. So if you're standing over your ball and your left foot is lower than your right foot, chances are it's going to break right to left. I would try to use your feet as a feel to help you gauge the break if you are struggling to see it with your eyes. Sebastian, been making a few backyard swings, so should be okay. Notice, however, that I back away from the ball in my downswing. Any advice on that? Chances are, if you back away from the ball, you're tilting your upper body back. I would feel like you lean towards the ball with the upper body while making sure your butt stays back and your pressure stays and your weight stays in your heels in the downswing. So a lot of the left shoulder down and around that I ask people to do as a righty, making sure they maintain their forward bend. So as a right-handed golfer, if you back out of it in the downswing, you're losing your inclination. Your chest, instead of facing the ground, starts facing in front of you. Feeling like the left shoulder stays down and the chest facing down will help you not lift up, okay? So it's just exaggerating a lot of that, Sebastian. So try it out, exaggerate. Exaggeration is a key along with video feedback. That way you can see whether or not you're truly doing it or not, or if you're ever doing it too much. If it's something you struggle with initially, it's very unlikely you'll struggle with it too much. So video and exaggeration, and then find that feel that works well for you. I know Simon. Definitely know Simon. Simon loves hitting balls on the range. Works hard at it. Rustin Dustin. I plan on starting golf lessons in person this weekend. What should I expect? Like, will he just see my swing and start from there? I am on the edge of breaking 80. Tough to say. I think that's something that you will have to ask the person you are working with, and then having a talk with them or email or text exchange, whatever it may be, to try to see what you should expect. Hard for me to answer that in terms of what you should expect. So ask him. Like if you have questions, ask. I encourage all my clients or prospective clients to ask me anything that they want before we start lessons. just so there's no big surprises, or to make sure that we might be a good fit, and then we go from there. But I would hate for someone to show up for a lesson and receiving an experience that is not what they wanted. That's definitely would not be. I would not be happy with that. So I think any questions that you may have regarding your lesson, you should ask the teacher that you are going to see. Weak and short right ball flight, Peter. If you're hitting it right, okay. So if you're hitting it right, and you're slicing it, and your divot's pointing left, I would just try to swing the most inside out as you can. Feel like your hands and arms and club come the most behind you in the downswing. So you're probably doing a lot of this in the downswing, which is why you see that left divot and the ball's floating right. I would try to swing more like this, and you can see my arm handling club goes way behind me, so I can swing more towards the right, so that the divot is going towards the right if you even get a divot, and then that will help you neutralize the path, maybe even swing inside out and get that flight drawing back to the left. That is what I would encourage you to try first, if that's your issue, Peter. Tom, hey, all is usually always well, so can't complain. Doing very well, especially for what's going on in this world right now. Doing very, very well. Doing as well as I can hope to be. Rubens, do you use the same shaft on your 4-iron and 5-iron as your shorter irons? Yes, I use the same shaft I use the same shaft for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pitch and wedge. It is the same shaft. Typically, it's pretty good. So I like how it feels. I've always done that. The only iron I would have a different shaft in would be a driving iron, and I would probably go into a graphite shaft for that as well, just because it's such low lofted. A little bit more help would be beneficial, but from a standard for the pitch and wedge, it would most likely be the same shaft for most people, and then it's definitely been the same shaft for me personally. Yeah, Jeremy. Yeah, like what DJ said is right. If you struggle with seeing it, aim point will be a good place to start, which is where my suggestion of trying to feel it with your feet would be. Aim point has been. I think aim point has a lot of merit and a lot of benefits to helping players read greens better if they struggle with that. It's doesn't hurt to learn it. Doesn't hurt to try it out. I don't think there is a downside to learning aim point at all. It can only help, especially if you struggle with seeing putts. Rubens, for someone with a stock push draw, what's the best way to play a cut open stance face grip path? Okay, so for you, obviously you play a stock push draw, which we've seen in all the videos that you've been sending me. So I typically don't prefer my clients to try to play the opposite ball flight of their stock shot. I think in most scenarios when you play golf, you do not have to play the opposite shot. So for you, who's someone that plays a push draw, in most scenarios over a course of a round, you won't have to play a cut. You will most likely score better and at least miss it in a better spot if you stick to your little push draw. Playing a fade just brings more variables into play, and it can bring a bigger miss into play, just because it's not the shot you typically see on the range, and it's not a shot you typically practice. So for most level, even like scratch tournament players, sticking with one shot is always more beneficial. But if you have to play a cut, if there is a tree in front, you have to cut it around. It's just like you have to. Then I would open the stance, swing more left, swing more out to in, so that you can create fade spin, so that you can make that fade come back, start left of the target and come back towards the target. But I would open the stance, I would swing way across it, and I would just make sure the face is pointing where I want the ball to start. So if there's a tree in front at 12 o'clock, I would make sure the face is pointing at 11 o'clock, and I would just swing across that to make sure that I can create that fade spin off that 11 o'clock start line. So hope that answers your questions, Ruben. Let's see. Nope, no questions so far. Wow, this could be a quick day today, guys. Could be a quick day. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask now. If not, this could be a short one, and then we can resume next Thursday. So we'll give it a couple minutes, and we'll see what happens. And then, as always, feel free to, if you do miss the Q&A, feel free to leave your question in the comments on the replayed video. I would do look through all of them and try to answer them as to the best of my ability. So if you do miss the question answering, if I do end this early, feel free to leave this in the comments. So we'll give it another minute. Doesn't look like things are rolling in. So this could be an early end for the chat, and that's okay. I will move on to doing my online lessons, and then we can resume next Thursday in a new environment, hopefully. So yeah, let's leave it at that. So anyone playing golf this weekend, be safe as usual. Stay safe. Practice proper hygiene, and then have fun out there. Any questions, leave it in the comments, and then we'll get to them as fast as I can as usual. Thanks for watching, everybody.